I send it to your
We are
Gmail.
live. We are live. Yeah, you send it through via my Gmail. Hello, hello, hello to everyone out there in Facebook Live world and YouTube Live world. This is Stephanie and Michelle. We are back for our second edition of Addictive Behaviors. So, welcome to Heads Up Mental Clarity. Please share this broadcast with on your Facebook pages, social media pages. Have any questions, please drop them in the chat, and I will answer accordingly. So we're going to let people get on. It doesn't look like anybody is on just yet. I'm going to go to my Facebook Live as well. Um,
Yeah, I need
let's
to
see.
pull that up on. Can I pull that up on my phone?
You should be able to, yeah.
Let me grab my phone.
Yeah. Letting the people come in. Let the people come in. Come in. Come in. Um, find my events.
One of the live.
Mhm.
How do I get the live? I join a party.
Let's see, is it gonna pop up? Not this. So what I have, I hope that I have. I hope that I have it streamed. Um, I know I have it streamed to YouTube, and so hopefully, let me go in here and see.
Because last
Okay,
week I
there,
couldn't get it.
there we
Yeah.
go. So we are streaming to YouTube, and we should be streaming right now to Facebook. And it says that you should be able to share as well.
So I just hit share and
Yeah,
post.
yeah, you should be able to share as well. It's gonna pop up on you on Facebook. So I'm waiting for it to see if it's gonna pop up. You guys bear with me as it should be popping up now. I'm waiting for it to chime in. We have one person. Hey, hey, hey. All right, we are on Facebook Live as well. Bear with me as it should be popping up now. I'm waiting for it to. So I'm just looking at it on my phone for the sake of if somebody has comments and I can see them.
Okay.
Um, if you are joining us, please give us out a wave or hello so we can see you and know who you are. Thank you for joining our part two series on addictive behaviors. Okay. See, a couple people are on. Hey, Christine. Yes, Sissy's on.
Hey, Chris.
Okay. Hey,
Oh,
guys.
oh no. Sorry.
That's okay.
Facebook Live thing, girl. You know I don't know.
See, like 5 people are watching. So again, if you have questions, put them in the or comments. Hey, Erica Davis, how are you?
That's my sister.
Hey, hey, hey. Please share this live. And if you have questions, drop them in the chat. Hello, Mom. How you doing? As we are going to be finishing up with part two of addictive behaviors. So again, welcome to Heads Up Mental Clarity with Michelle and Stephanie, doing part two of addictive behaviors. Hi, Brene. How you doing? Good to see you guys on. Um, Last week we kind of went over some of the most common addictions. We talked about the types of addictions and behaviors, and so we left off with Hey, Marcinia. We left off in a place that we decided we wanted to continue to move forward with it because we had a lot more to say. Um, I'm not quite sure exactly where that was, but we were really into that topic. Who else I see there? Hey, Nia. Hey, Veronica. Thank you guys for chiming in with us. We're talking about addictive behaviors and how they can affect our lives. And some of those addictive behaviors, we'll just recap. We talked about alcohol and tobacco. We talked about drugs, gambling, coffee, food, food in particular, videos, sex, shopping, work, but just addictive behaviors in general. We were talking about, and how they can affect us. Um, I don't know. One of the things that I see in one of the things that we share with each other is of substance versus behavioral addictions. And how they are effective. And so, substance in the sense of like illegal drugs, over the counter drugs, prescription drugs, um, hmm, food, coffee. We don't often think about coffee and food as being, or sugar as being substances, and they are substances, um, and they have harmful effects, and negative consequences may arise.
Is because of them.
Say that again.
Sometimes have warning on packages because of certain type of sugars and how they're manufactured and the toxicity of them. And the same with coffees.
Yeah,
Just yeah.
right. Yeah. And then behavioral addictions are like self, and that's one I guess what I'd like for us to kind of get into, because we know that like the known addictions, like right, like
Hmm.
we know we can be addicted to coffee or caffeine or sugar, foods and things like that. But some of the behavioral ones are self-destructive, compulsive, reoccurring behaviors. And so that can be working, that can be gambling, that can be using the internet, that can be sex, that could, some of the things that are not necessarily what we put in our bodies through our mouths so much, as opposed to what we put in our bodies via the other vehicles and enter in our bodies via our eyes, ears, and things like that. And so those are some of the behavioral addictions that are listed. Again, I'll say them again. So they're defined as self-destructive, compulsive, recurring behavior. Example: gambling, using the internet, falling in love, being in love, having sex, playing video, internet games, working, shopping, or even working out can be an addiction, a
Oh,
behavioral addiction. I know, right? I'm not so sure that's a bad one, except for if you're giving your kids steroids to make them pump them up and make them bigger and all that kind of stuff, or you're taking steroids and things like that. But um, I think that can be a good addiction, I guess, if there's such a thing. If
yeah. I don't know if there's such a thing, but okay. Oh, I don't know. Anything done out of moderation is done out of moderation. I think
yeah,
that's a it's a judgment call. Um, so judge yourself, not
how
others.
about that? Judge yourself. Yeah. Hey,
So
Janelle. Yeah, judge yourself.
I
Um,
just judge yourself.
Yeah. Another thing that we kind of talked about was like passion versus addiction. How do you know
Hmm.
if it's a
Right.
passion or an addiction? If it's something that
Yeah.
am I passionate about working out, or am I addicted to working out? Like, how do you know?
Think you the motive and the intention, and intention is always underlining for all of these things. If it becomes a desire without pleasure, um, so some people, have a desire or a strong desire, but it's not pleasurable, but they gotta have it. Um, so that's one of the behaviors too, to have a desire without pleasure. Um,
Mhm.
or passion, I mean, addiction is, when your pain threshold is so uh, large that you are willing to accept a lot of pain, um, then I don't know if it becomes passion. I think passion is going to be a self judgment.
Hmm.
Um, but I know that if you're doing a desire that is not any longer giving you pleasure, but you're doing it to like stay alive or to, so that you won't be sick, um, then you know that you have some type of addictive quality because you're doing it to avoid a different type of pain.
Right. Okay. And you hit it dead on the head too when you said moderation. So
Hmm.
when you have an imbalance in moderation,
Hmm.
that's when it becomes a passionate behavior as opposed to being addictive. Addictive is when, and this is just my take, is when you gotta always have that, no matter what, nothing else matters. I'll use working out. I'll use working out, but nothing else matters but that. You're not doing anything else. You're not balancing the rest of your life. I can use working too, like working a job. Like you're just doing that, period, and everything else goes by the wayside. So your family, loved ones, whatever, everything else that is important goes by the wayside, and your main focus is that thing and nothing else, just that.
Hmm.
Um, and that's how you. That's I guess that's a way you can tell the difference between a passion and an addiction for in behavioral. I'm talking about behavioral, not talking about drugs, because that's a whole different animal. Um, some people don't feel like they are addicted to drugs. Um, and then later on realize, oh, yeah, I am, and I was then too. Right.
Hmm.
So, and that's when I think is becoming is detrimental, and each thing could be different, like prescription medication. I'm not addicted to it if I'm using it the way that I was told to use it. But then when it runs out and I still need to have it, that's then I'm addicted. But I'm not
Hmm.
a you know I don't I'm not necessarily addicted to a prescription medication, if I'm taking it the way it was supposed to be taken, and that includes a medication that can be addictive.
Yes.
That's the reason that they prescribe it the way that they do prescribe it, so that you don't become addicted to it. But when I'm starting to self medicate because I have some left over, I went to seek some from someone else. That then that's an addiction. Yeah. Um, and so that kind of segues right into like signs of behavioral addiction. Of
Hmm.
a behavioral addiction, the person struggles with mental health or physical health issues as a result of the behavior, and or is unable to stop.
Unsuccessful, unable to quit.
Yeah, unable to stop. And so I think about, even when I talk about the prescription medication, even though this is talking about behavioral, even when I talk about substance, your stint with it is over. You no longer should need it medically, but you can't stop. You still want that thing.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, the person has difficulties in significant relationships. So it's affecting, of course, those three areas of your life, like home, school, work, your relationships, friendships. When it's affecting, you're having difficulty in those relationships, in some cases at work, due to disruptive behaviors. So you can't function the way you need to function on your job, in your relationships. Yeah. Um, Go ahead. Are you going to say something?
Say, uh, I was going to say loss of control, like in so many areas of your life, and you pretty much said that. And the desires without pleasure is one of the two that I was going to mention.
Yeah. Um, and I think a lot of the things that are listed kind of play hand in hand with one another, like they kind of overlap. So the person experiences other negative consequences that are directly caused by continued extreme or chronic engagement in the behavior. And then,
Mhm.
so that's kind of like, in your friendships, at work, or what have you. It kind of
Mhm.
overlaps. And we said this already, cannot stop engaging.
Right.
There's a
Or it dictates what you do, where you go, um, companies that you keep.
mm,
Um, you tend, you want to be around maybe others who are partaking in that type of environment. If you like chocolate cake and you know somebody always has chocolate cake, then you're over to the chocolate cake house. Um,
yeah,
I'm just using that as an example. But yeah, you
it's a
find
good
yourself being drawn to places that you can partake in that substance or activity.
mm,
Um, and and when you say, "Oh no, I'm not going to," and another thing, the feeling or the experience that you have about who you are when it's done.
mm,
So a
okay.
lot of times there's the self-loathing, I shouldn't have eaten that, or um, a person feels bad, or they start to judge themselves about the choices, or it's like next time I'm gonna do something different. Um, that's one of the behaviors too. That it's
Hmm.
not passion, but it's an addiction.
Right.
Because that person is like, I need to cut back or I need to pull back. Um, that might be soul talk, the soul is talking. And you just have to pay attention. Um, but when you feel some type of self-loathing or some type of self-judgment within yourself after participating, like if you go shopping, you
Mm,
go on a shopping spree and then you get home and you got all this buyer's remorse and it's happened more than once. It's like,
yeah. Are you hiding it?
oh, that does not count. I don't have to hide no more. But,
So, right.
that
So
does not count.
I was just thinking about the shopping thing, right? Because you can shop and have a whole shopping spree and feel nothing but like, "Ooh, I'm so glad I did this." And you can
Right,
shop and have a whole shopping spree and be like, "What have I done?"
right, right.
Right?
Because the body
I need to
just
take
wants
all
to
this back.
feel good. That's it.
Mhm.
I just want to feel good in the moment. And once the feel good is gone and reality sets in, it's like, oh, wow. And I think I've been on the phone with you, Michelle, and I have gone to the store because I love to window shop. I've gone to the store and put stuff in my cart, tried on clothes, and then just was like, "Nah, I don't feel like buying this."
Yeah.
I think it's just something that feels good about putting on clothes or the notion of purchasing
Mhm.
something, um, and then I just decide I really don't want to give them my money.
I
Um, but
know.
that feeling of shopping and putting on the clothes and looking and even me talking about it right now, I just
You
feel
feel
like this
good, right?
sensation in my body. Like,
No, I know.
yeah, like I love to like decorate houses. Anybody that knows me,
Yeah.
I like going to home goods stores and just looking around and touching fabric and touching furniture, and I like that.
Yeah.
But I don't spend the money. Even when I had the money, I didn't spend a lot of the money because but that's where my stop gap is. But I still
Right.
participate in the activity of going there and putting it on. I don't know if it's an addiction or not, but I do know the feeling, that high that I get from just experiencing the shopping experience. And I don't spend the money, but I do enjoy that
Yeah.
feeling. So I can imagine someone who wants to take it all home and pile it up at their house. Like, I get that. I get, someone taking it to the next level.
Yeah. And for me, and then rationale kicks in, and
Yeah.
you say, "Oh, I don't want to spend my money." And for me, I say, "I don't need this. I don't need this. I really don't need this." Right? And so then the rationale behind, but I want it, I work for it, but I don't really need this. And I can leave the store without it. But there are some people who cannot.
Right.
There are some people who shop for a sale and don't even need what's on sale.
Right.
Right. And don't get me wrong, it's not a judgment. We all have our thing.
Right.
Everybody has their thing. But so we're just talking about shopping now. But yeah, so, but I get it because I've had that feeling and then get to the counter, like, I don't need this.
Right. And
Right.
it's and the addiction part is when you feel compelled to do it, like almost like you can't stop yourself, almost like I was saying when I was talking about, furniture and furniture shopping or looking at really nice clothes. I love going into places that have suits. I'm the queen. I love trying on suits. And when you just can't help yourself, like you just feel like I gotta take it home, like I have to. And I used to be like that at thrift stores.
Flashbacks.
Yeah, like I would just be like, well, I mean, it's only $1.
Right.
It's only $1. It's only 50 cents, until you look up and you got a 32 square foot house full of little knickknacks and stuff.
Right. Right.
So,
Right. Yeah. And that's the
yeah.
same thing with substances, right? Like it's like you gotta have it. The body has to have it. And we tell
Mhm.
ourselves, I do substance abuse counseling, just basic substance abuse counseling, because my angle is to get at why, um, what
While
is
you're
the cause of you needing to go get that thing in the first place. That's what I really deal with. And then, of course, dealing with the addiction kind of just comes with that, finding out like what the triggers are. And so that was going to be my next question, is like, and so why do people find themselves addicted to
every,
anything?
that's
To
right.
anything. Yeah,
Trauma,
I know.
trauma,
I know.
trauma,
And then you have people
trauma.
that say, like, why do you go back to the past? Or why do you go back to my trauma? Or why do you, we're talking about now? Like, why are we going back to my childhood? And it's like, because this behavior started, this anxiety, this whatever it is, started somewhere.
This
There's a
unmet need. This
starting point.
unmet need. It's a pacifier. It's your baba. That's
Yes.
why. That's why.
Yes.
That's
Absolutely.
why. That's why we go back there because it's a pacifier. It's your baba. It's your touch. If you didn't get touch, if you were didn't get touch growing up or didn't get affection, so then you want love and you want sex and you want being affirmed and the applause and um
Validation.
acknowledgement and validation. So you're that the addictions all, I will put my license on it unless you got on crack, when somebody gave it to you and it's one of them drugs when once you try it you keep, and heroin or something like that maybe. But for the most part, my findings have been that people have childhood attachment traumas and they become addicted to something because it
Right.
soothes or it's
Yeah.
some type of trauma. If it's not childhood trauma, it could be a trauma, just a bad mirror, some type of trauma to the brain. And then the brain reaches for. So let me just say this. Um, I don't want to tell my business. Anyway, any kind of trauma you can just start a trauma in the middle of nowhere. Because I started an addiction in 20 something, which somebody would say is not an addiction, but I didn't start drinking coffee till I was 24, and it started from a trauma. And I shouldn't have been drinking coffee because I was pregnant, and I was
Mm,
drinking coffee, like a lot of coffee. Like
right. Yeah.
I was
Yeah.
maybe 6 months pregnant. I started drinking a lot of coffee due to a traumatic experience, and then consequently, my child was born early. Um, and I didn't drink coffee before that, and now I'm still drinking coffee.
Right. Yeah.
So it can, you start these addiction, you pick up these habits early on, and but a lot of them, if you stop to think, what was I doing when I started this journey, whatever you call yourself addicted to, and you'll realize that it was from some type of response to some type of trauma experience. some form of trauma experience.
And while working with clients now and getting them to understand, I don't know if I said this the last time, that you're not over drinking because you're in college. College
Right,
just gives you permission,
right.
way more permission to do it, even though you're underage. There is something going on, or has been something going on. And getting to college with the, people think, oh, well, that comes with the college experience. People drink, whatever. And I contend that that just gives them over permission to do a run to that one thing that they were either hiding going to before,
Mhm.
or whatever the case may be. And now you're in this open field that says you can drink all you want, and nobody's really clocking it, And so, but there was something else going on way before you got to the college campus, or maybe when you got there, right? But it's not
When you got
because
there, I
drinking
mean,
goes,
maybe because it creates for you to be less inhibited, so you feel comfortable around
yeah,
these strangers. That's not simply maybe a trauma, but if you have separation anxiety and you don't know it,
right.
you go.
Yeah.
But it creates a space where you can just feel comfortable, and it's a social. Okay, okay, Chris, thanks. Um, uh,
Hey, John. Hi, Judy. Hey, Denise. Hey, Nisi. Yeah.
and we've glamorized alcohol so that why not, and then people don't know what their predispositions are in college. Maybe we should start educating our children about that, because if they
Right.
have predisposition genes, then they may not have had a trauma and just started drinking and couldn't stop drinking because it felt good, it felt by the whatever was predispositioned in their gene set. It exposed them to that feeling, and it triggered the brain to do something that says, hey, this feel good. And it
Like,
could be a historical experience that they really didn't know anything about, but it's predispositioned inside of them.
yeah. And so, so I often am talking with clients who are trying to stop drinking or smoking or whatever. Um, and you often find it in high stressed areas. So it's college or grad school or PhD programs. That's a huge one. Or work promotions, or it's the thing to do at the job. And like you said, you don't know your predisposition. So, it's the thing to do. Go out for dinner and drinks. And before you know it, it's a problem.
Hmm.
Um, yeah, before you know it, it's a problem. And I had another question I was going to ask you, and I can't think of it. Yeah, so before you know it, it's an issue, even
Hmm.
if you didn't think it was an issue before. But we have normalized it so much.
We have.
Anything, we're in this microwave world where we want everything now, or if I work, I can get and do what I want to do.
Yeah.
Um, and so that too contributes a lot of times to these addictions. Um, I find in a lot of my clients or people that I might work with or people that I might talk to, people who I'm related to, whatever, I find that in my talk in communication with people that there's an issue going on and they don't even realize it.
Mhm. Well, because
Um,
issues are a matter of judgment, and so we have to bring light to it. I don't think that people, what an observer may see as an issue, the person that's actually in the trenches may just see it as possibly survival.
mhm,
Um, is not a big deal. I like to invite people to try something different. Like when you do it still very often, and when I lived alone, I did it too. Where okay, I'm not going to eat meat for a week or two or three, and now I realize how amazing I feel until I'm done. Until I do it and I have succeeded in it. And so I think
right.
sometimes when you challenge people to take some things away, actually the sister circle that I was in, they did that last month. Take something away. You don't realize how addicted. I don't know if I'm in the camera.
Yeah,
Addicted you are to a substance or a thing or an activity until it's taken away.
yeah, absolutely.
these experiences that happen to you, and that's how you know, like, so when you challenge someone and say, hey, why don't you try not doing it?
Right, right. And I think I shared the story of my college, my in my master's program, the teacher coming in, reading us this letter. We were thinking that we're in trouble with the university. And, you know, you have all these 20 emotions. Like, I'm grown. What are you talking about? I paid my tuition. What are you saying right now? And her saying, like, you know, okay, and so enough is enough. You know, you guys walk in and out of class when you want, just all this stuff she was saying. And she was really, it was really a project. And it's like, okay, today, whatever it is that you have been doing so much, it is so hard for you to tear yourself away from, starting today, I'm going to give you 1 hour to get your mind right. But starting today, you cannot have that thing. And people were scrambling. Like, it was so, and it was a substance abuse class. It was
Mhm.
so real how people were scrambling, going to get their last cup of coffee. People that were addicted to social media, they stayed in the classroom in the back of the room, and they're on there sending messages. And it was like so crazy how people were like, what? I can't have it out the, and it was like for 2 months or something like that. And then you had to journal how you felt, and just the anxiety that it provoked in people when they realized that they couldn't have something. The experience was phenomenal because it was like, okay, at the end of this thing, it was like, and so I wanted you to be able to sit in the seat of your client. And so the only way for you to do that is for me to do this shock factor in this project for you to
And
get it.
that was intervention,
Yes.
an intervention.
And when people were reading the journals, when people were reading their journals, it was just like, I'm pissed today. I'm angry that she made us do, like, people were really, because it wasn't shared that that's what it was until the end. And so
Right.
people were real life, like, as part of the class, and you have to do it and you cannot fail at it and things like that. And so so it's just like, we're rule keepers, and the rule was, this is what you do and you don't falter from it. And so people were writing like, I'm upset about it, like, I can't believe she got us doing this, like, this is crazy. And then at the end of it, she was like, I needed you to be able to sit in the seat with non-judgment for your client.
It's
I was like, wow. I think mine was just sugar. And then I
just,
wished, wait,
just
and
sugar.
then I wished I hadn't said sugar. I wished I had said chocolate, right? Because if I would have said chocolate, I could have all the other sweets. But I'm gonna say sugar because I don't know what she's doing. Write it down, and this is the thing that you're gonna have to stay away from. And I was like, okay, well, sugar. Oh my god, I use sugar in the coffee. I don't drink coffee without sugar, right? So consequently, I had to stop drinking coffee because I don't drink coffee without sugar. And if I use a creamer, a sweetener, it has sugar in it. Like, I like all this.
Right,
I was like, if I
right.
no, I should have chose chocolate. I could have stayed away
I was
from that.
sitting here thinking, like, what could we challenge each other with today?
Sugar. Yeah, it would be real good. I think I'd be cheating because I'm on my 7th day of a detox and I haven't had any. So, so I'm good.
Oh yeah, no, no, no. So let's do sugar.
I'm good. Let's go. I had no caffeine. There no sugar. Let's do either one of those things you want to do. I can do that because I've been on a detox for 7 days and I haven't had any of it, and so and I feel good about it. So I don't know what it could be today that I could stay.
No,
I
because
don't
it
know.
would be all those things that you named. Not right now, because I'm in the middle of studying. I have a brain fog that would, I don't know, but I don't know. I feel encouraged.
Get rid of the
Think
sugars,
about it.
according to Dr. Hampton, will bring you total clarity.
I know.
Yeah, yeah, and
Okay.
yeah.
Oh, okay. Let me. I got
You,
10
I'm
more
saying
minutes.
this to you in the world. You would be happy to know that I have not had a refresher in, oh yes,
Or green tea.
nothing.
Nice.
Nothing. I haven't had anything. So, you guys, the backstory to it is that when I have green tea, and green tea is not bad for you, right? But it
Right.
helps me to focus so much in my work and whatever I'm doing, you know, just mental clarity, right? However, green tea is not tasty with nothing in
Mm-hmm.
it. So Dunkin' Donuts has these refreshers that has the green tea, and it has a concentrate that they put in it that's a base with sugars, and it is so good. And the effect and the energy that I get from it is amazing. But what I did was I did subscribe to supplements, that natural supplements, plant based supplements. So that's kind of how I got over the hump. But I haven't
Oh,
had it. Yeah,
I didn't know that.
I do. I have a plant based, and it's Total Life something. Total Life Changes, TLC.
Okay.
So I get my vitamins and all that stuff from them, and but I haven't had it. I haven't wanted it. If you are trying to shake sugar, magnesium is really good to cut your appetite from it. I fell upon that. I did not know that when taking magnesium. I was just really trying to build up my immune system for COVID, and found out that I had not eaten sweets the whole week when I first started taking it. And then I Googled something and that popped up, and I was like, oh, that's why I haven't wanted it. So if you're trying to get away from sweets, magnesium. But whatever it is, our body is telling us that we need something.
Hmm.
When we divert to things, our body, our brain is telling us that we need something, right? Just like you said, to soothe us, whatever that thing is. Um, Go ahead.
I wasn't going to say anything. I was saying you're right.
Yeah. And when you do a detox, your body will tell you what you're addicted to.
I know.
It'll
It's
tell
really
you.
good. Yeah.
It'll tell you.
First
Um,
3 days aren't good. The first 4 days aren't good.
First 4 days. This detox is only 7 days, but the first 4 days are not good.
Yeah.
Um,
Same with the master cleanses. The first
yeah,
4 days are tough, but
but it's
I,
necessary, and I do it every. I like to do it every month, but I do it every other month to do a cleanse, because I don't want to really be addicted to anything. In the cleanse, though, a couple years ago when I started, I learned that I was addicted to caffeine, because it wasn't until the cleanse that I started to get headaches and things like that. And I was drinking decaf coffee. So I think I shared that last time too. And so that affected me, and I didn't realize it. And so and if you know me, I'm a person that I don't want to have to have anything.
hmm
I don't want to have to have medicine. I don't want to have to have coffee or caffeine. I don't want to function. I don't
hmm
want to have anything, right? And so I will restrict myself intentionally, like, no, you're just not gonna know, you're not gonna have this. So hopefully y'all pray for me on this new detox. I'll stay the course and won't fall back into the sugars. Is the biggest thing for me. Sugars is the biggest thing for me. How do people correct the addictive behaviors?
A lot of accountability. And you have to replace the addictive behaviors. It's like CBT. You have to replace the addictive behaviors with another addictive behavior, but you don't get addicted to it. But it can be cool. Affirmations, journaling. Um, Whenever I do any type of cleanse, I have like a refrigerator full of, fruits, vegetables. I
Yes,
have my
yes,
my
yes,
refrigerator be stacked with all
yes,
kinds of, I mean stacked, kale, beets,
yes,
every vegetable, fruit you can imagine that is created. When I do a cleanse, I keep my refrigerator full of fresh foods. And I'm not just saying the drawers, I mean shelves full. So I juice and I make smoothies because
mhm,
that's my past. That's going to be my go-to. So while
yeah,
I'm trying to get rid of the poison, I'm putting
yeah,
in the stuff that grows from the ground in my body. And I've never been to a rehab or anything like that, and I don't know anybody who's been to rehab. That's interesting. Um, and I'm just curious, is that something that happens in rehab? Like when
right,
the
right,
do they get the nutrients that they need to fill their
right.
bodies with good stuff? Um, because that's the secret for me. If I just go on a fast or a diet or something and I
No,
don't
you
have
gotta keep that.
abundance of
Yes.
good stuff,
Yeah.
I won't be successful. So you have to be
Yeah.
prepared to inundate the body, flood the nervous system and the brain
Especially
with,
with the greens.
yeah, with something that is like you have to flood it with something, a new idea, you
Yes.
affirmations or whatever. You have to
Yeah.
flood the system with a new idea, a new concept to create a paradigm shift.
Yes.
Um, and it's essential.
Right.
Um, and support. You got to be accountable because we all play tricks on ourselves,
We
and
lie. We let ourselves off the hook. That's
yeah,
what we
that's good.
do.
I like that.
We
Let
let
ourselves.
ourselves off the hook, and of course, when we talk about let yourself off the hook in other ways, that's something different. But we're talking about when you want something, we let ourselves off the hook, and we allow ourselves to talk ourselves out of the good
Yeah,
thing that we want to do. Like
yeah,
we lie to our like just this one time. Yeah, yeah, you're gonna do it that one time. You're gonna do it again. And so
right.
we let ourselves off the hook. And so I think I just said this to somebody today. You need an accountability partner
Yeah,
because
it's
you will
so.
let yourself off the hook. Period.
Mhm,
You will. Right. And so you need an accountability partner. And it's so I'm glad that you said that because that is what I use in my practice when I'm working with someone that's trying to break free of something. All of those things. Like, do you have a schedule? Are you
mhm,
intentional about that schedule? If
mhm.
you eat sweets and that's your thing, then you need to put that on the schedule. You're gonna eat breakfast and what you're gonna eat. You're gonna eat lunch and what you're gonna eat. Oh, you're gonna snack, you're gonna chew on some carrots, whatever. That's going to keep you from going back there. But there's gotta be that thing, my drinkers. When you're somewhere like it's people, places, and things that you really need to separate yourself from sometimes, right? But if you're in an atmosphere that you don't think that that is possible, so like a work event, right? Then you get a salsa water in a glass because it's really about you holding that thing and
Right.
everybody else holding it. And usually, I don't know because I have not personally had um, a, um, an issue with alcohol or whatever, but I do know that people say, that I've worked with, that something bubbly helps. So salsa
Yeah.
water, LaCroix, a
Red
diet
Bull.
Coke, yeah, a diet. I won't tell them to do it. A whole different type of charge, right? you know, um, but something in your hand because it's about that. If
Mhm.
they're a smoker, it's not always about getting high or
Right.
having nicotine as much as it's you used to putting that up to your mouth. What can
Mhm.
you do with eating? Can you chew some sugarless gum, or it's that fixation of something in that addictive behavior, right? And so if you can replace it with a good thing, then it's easier, and then the urges don't last forever.
They do not last forever. And that's where mindfulness comes in,
Yes.
and being an observer of your experience, because you're going to have them. So you
Yes.
cannot avoid having experiences of withdrawal. Any addiction, there's going to be withdrawals. You'll be like, God, please, can you just take this feeling away from me?
Yeah.
No, part of the withdrawal is the part of the dying and the refreshing. It's like, the body is doing a cleanse. And so it's squeezing, it's contracting and releasing and contracting and releasing. Now, with your heart, when you got, addictions like love addictions and things like that, your heart is contracting and constricting and contract. It's just doing what it does. And so the withdrawal piece is the part that's kind of hard. So
Yeah.
mindfulness is important. That's why your accountability partner is there. If you are a person who prays, get somebody to pray with you, and you might have to pray. You ever broke up with somebody and be like, I'm gonna call you every time I want to call him. I'm gonna call you. So you have your girlfriend be like, I'm just calling you because I want to call him. Da, 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 da. You
Right.
might have to do. So if you get a prayer
Right.
partner, just pray with them 20 times or record yourself praying or something. But you do have to be intentional, and
That's
having somebody with you to get through it, to say that these urges are not going to last. They aren't going to last. It will pass. And it feels weird in the body when you tell the body no.
hmm
Um, it
Yeah.
just is going to feel uncomfortable. I have a
Absolutely.
pajama fetish. So I
Okay.
don't walk near, around anywhere where there are nightclubs. And nobody who shops with me probably pays any attention to it. But I am super intentional when it comes to like night clothes and lingerie. I love those things, but they last forever. You don't have to buy those every week.
Right.
Night
Right.
clothes, nightgowns, they last forever. So once my drawer gets full, I have no excuse to buy any more.
Right.
And so
Right.
I stay away from that department no matter what store I'm in. I don't care where I'm at. Target,
Hmm.
Myers, it doesn't matter. I don't go in that because I love PJs. I just do. I like night clothes. And I don't know if that's an addiction or whatever, but if I go by and touch them, I'm going to buy something. It's
Right.
I don't know what that is, but
Yeah.
it's something. But I avoid it, and I literally have an experience when I walk past the night clothes area of any store. I
Yeah.
physically feel something happening inside of me. Like, go on and turn your head because it's so cute, and I like lounge clothes. So I know that, I mean, I don't know if anybody would classify that as addiction because I have never gone broke with it, but I understand that given the opportunity, I would spend my money buying night clothes, lounge clothes, hang out, just, yeah, I like that kind of stuff. So
Hmm.
I stay away from that, like literally on purpose.
Right. So you have to stay away from that thing, because and that's not easy either. Like staying away from people who drink because you don't want to drink, or whatever the case may be. But dealing with the triggers and why that addiction or that addictive behavior is in place in the first place is number one, and
Yes,
in helping you to get over that hump of that addiction, because you got to deal with, it's no, I don't want to say it's no point. It's always a point in stopping the addiction. But you stop the addiction, but everything that is going on, you haven't dealt with it. If it's from the past, if it's from the present, then you're going to find something else to be extremely addicted to, right? You're
hmm,
going to find something else to help to soothe you. So, yeah, you meditate, have a routine in the morning, because some of the times it's about having control over what's happening in your world. And so, have a routine, even. If you replace, I know people that like really work out maybe twice a day to kind of curb the urges to want to drink. So they work out instead, and the urge goes away. And it's maybe not an hour workout every time you feel an urge. Maybe it's a 5 minute sit up, do something, exert some energy to kind of get rid of that energy of the urge that you want to do whatever that thing is, but certainly clearing up whatever is happening, right?
yeah,
So if you are, and I want to incorporate that because it could be you have a work addiction or whatever. You got to deal with it. So I'm not going to tell you don't have this work addiction. You need to go home. Maybe there's some stuff going on at home. So how about
right.
we handle that, and then
Yes.
we can get to the bottom of, get to solving that addiction. Or maybe there was this, you didn't have what you thought you should have had growing up, so you're going to work yourself crazy trying to get it. So let's deal. So the number one thing is, we got to deal with what is going on the inside, so that you can overcome these addictions. And you got to feel your mind, like you said, affirmations, listen to some positive things. You got to feel your mind with this stuff. I mean, guys, listen, our
not
brains
not
are
just feel it, like overload it. It
over.
has to
Yes.
overload, like
Yes.
just saturate yourself with with something new.
Absolutely.
Mhm.
Absolutely, that can help you, get over it and do what works for you. Because
Please.
I've had people do support groups that made them really want to do whatever that thing is even more.
Right.
So do what
Al-Anon and all those other things are not for everyone, and doesn't mean they're in denial. It's just not for
exactly,
them.
exactly. Yeah. So do what works for you. Um, Not everything works for everybody, and just because it works for me doesn't mean it'll work for you, and vice versa. So do what really works for you, right?
And know that sometimes, and I'm being presumptuous because I'm only dealing with the uh I'm being presumptuous right now. But sometimes when you take away the thing that you are addicted to, and you replace it, or you do something that's creative, like draw,
Mm,
cut, or build, because a lot of times substances or addictions are a they dim the light of your creative juices. So
yes.
you'll start to feel in your sacral chakra area, the stomach between the pelvic and your heart, you'll feel in that area a movement, and that's one of the withdrawals of addictions. That movement, that something's going on. I'm antsy, got something going on. It's the creative being, the creative part of your soul that wants to
Yes.
express itself. And
Yeah.
so a lot of times when you are doing a withdrawal or cleanse or whatever, if you get coloring books or paper and pencil, I have started painting. And everybody knows I love to color. So I color a lot, but painting, drawing, um, if you like to garden, but gardening when you putting your hands in dirt when you
Let
are
me
going
tell
through a
you,
detox.
since
Oh my,
COVID,
oh my
I got
goodness.
about 12 brand new huge pots of some type of
Yeah,
flower or plant. That is
yeah,
not new. When my
yeah.
son is 32, something like that, and when he was not even two, he was 6 weeks old, I had my first apartment, and my entire living room was nothing but plants. Anywhere I have ever lived, nothing but plants. When I left Georgia, I had to leave them behind. They were so huge we couldn't travel with them. And I got really busy in life here and just could not dive into that. But COVID hit, anxiety rose,
Mhm.
and girlfriend went right to what she knows. I bought one plant, then I needed another plant, then I needed three more plants. And now I'm thinking about like where I'm gonna put all these darn plants. When they come outside, I gotta bring them in the house. What I'm gonna do? So, so yeah, putting your hands in that dirt and
It's
repotting
just
them.
something amazing that happens to ourselves when we release our attachment to external things and like go within, just to be curious about who and what is going on the inside. You'll feel vibrational energy in your tummy area, that sacral chakra area. That's the creative area. And a lot of times um, we are we are limited in our creativity because of life. That's the story we tell ourselves. Because of life, and we're busy, or I don't know if I can do it anymore, or that's what I did when I was a kid. I think I
Yeah.
mentioned on one of our broadcasts, I dance. First of all, I wake up in the morning singing like crazy, and then these last couple of days, you remember Fred Hammond Blessed?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
I'll be jamming in the morning, 3:45, dancing in my
Yes.
dancing, like just move that body and have a good time in life and start the
Yes.
day off like I got this. And especially if you're giving up something that you may are addicted to, you want to confirm and affirm to yourself the truth. You got this. You really
Right.
do. You have it. Um, and it's just being diligent and intentional with everything that we do. But when you're overcoming an addiction, finding out why that addiction is there, make friends with it. Hey, I get you. I know why you're here. We gonna do this journey together. You got to go. Love you because you've been here to protect me. It's a part of you that
How
was
about
there to
that?
protect you and
Yes.
console you. So
Yes.
you give it thanks. You show forth gratitude, and now you can go. Now I got this. I am enough. I can do this.
And
you
we can
know
teach our kids this early on, even though it's not necessarily addictive behaviors that they do, but consoling, like this thing is to console you, to make you feel good, to wrap its arms around you. We got to teach our kids how to self-care so that they don't come into and
and
life is gonna happen, right? Life is gonna happen. But if we teach them how to soothe in a positive way, perhaps we can keep them from some of this.
daring to believe that would be the thing that would happen if we just love and wrap our arms around kids, and all of this stern,
And take our anxiety
inhumane.
out of it.
Yeah, just speaking to kids like they not human, like they dogs.
I
Like
just
they don't know. They they don't know. They don't know. And so
Yeah.
then they go and they get their pacifiers or their boobies, and
I ain't got
things
no
that they
pacifier.
need.
You're too big for that. What? Like, come
Yeah,
on, let's teach them how to console and soothe themselves.
thing, because that's what this is all about. It's self-soothing. The man that comes home from his job and pops open a can of beer.
It's
Beer
yeah.
tastes good for people who like beer. I hate it, but people love it. So one, they could be doing it because it just tastes good in this beer, but there's something about the self-soothing. It's something about the crack. I'm home. It's safe.
Yes.
Take that away. It's like, what are we doing? What's happening? What's happening? I
Yes.
don't know if that's an addiction, but I'm just saying my point is that we choose certain things so that we can be soothed, so we can be okay.
Yeah.
It makes it nice.
Mm-hmm.
This makes it
Absolutely.
nice. Yeah, it makes it
Absolutely.
nice. So,
So, guys, I know we had information, and whenever we have a lot of information, not an overload of it, but a lot of information, there are really no questions in the chat because people are really just paying attention and learning. And we're so glad to be able to share this information with you guys. I just, today was a heck of a day, but
mhm,
getting on this live really made me feel good about giving back, talking to
yeah,
my girlfriend and giving back to people, giving information is really who we are, who I
right,
am. And so I really appreciate you guys for hopping on, and please make sure that you're sharing this information, and we're going to come up with a different topic. We might already have it, but Stephanie's girlfriend cannot remember, so she writes it down. So I'll look in the book and see what we said that we're going to do next week. I'm not sure of it yet, but we're going to come back with another phenomenal topic for you guys. Again, we come up with it, but we don't know what you need, so, and what you want to know. So please email, drop a DM in Facebook or whatever. We're going to give you our contact information before getting off. But drop something. Let us know what you want to hear, what your challenges might be, and you don't have to say my challenge is this. Can you talk about it? You could just
right.
add the topic. Can you talk
A
about
friend.
this? Yes, asking for a friend.
Ask for a friend.
Asking for a friend. So please drop questions. We welcome them. Um, I want to first say that I wanted to say I apologize for not coming on that last week, but I don't. Sometimes I just need to just, whew, sometimes life gets in the way. But I'm always going to let you know ahead of time, if I'm not coming on. I'm always going to, try and put it out there if we're not coming on, but we're going to try to be consistent, um, workout schedules and things like that. Because, guys, we do what we do, but we do this because we want people to have the information. And we know that this field is just not big enough. It just
Right.
won't hold us all, right? So we wanted to be able to give you guys information. So please again drop your questions, topics you'd like to hear us talk about, issues that you may have come across, that we can shed some light on with you. Um, Absolutely. You can reach me at Psychology Today, Michelle Bird. Heads Up Mental Clarity on Facebook. My personal page is Michelle Wallace Bird. I am on Instagram at Mrs. Bird LPC. I am also at ChicagoCompassCounseling.com. That's my private practice. So you can reach me in all of those
Okay.
areas. You also can reach me at 773-231-0828. If you have any questions, you can text me. You can drop a message in Messenger for Facebook as well. Stephanie, can you let them know how to contact you?
Stephanie Stevens McCain on Facebook. Let's talk MFT at gmail.com. I am a private practice at Lamplight Counseling. That's in Independence, Ohio. And that's it. I did give my Gmail, Facebook, and of course Messenger if you do Messenger. I
Yeah.
have Instagram, but I don't really do. I don't do social media. But if you put it on there, I'll every now and then, every once a week or twice a week, I'll get on there and check and see what's going on. But I'm on here on Tuesdays, so you can know I
Yeah.
can check them on Tuesdays. But yeah, you can Psychology Today. I'm sorry, I forgot
Yeah.
about that. Psychology Today, Stephanie McCain, and then Facebook and let's talk MFT at
Yeah,
gmail.com.
absolutely. I'm not on Instagram as much as I am Facebook, but I mean, if somebody drops something there, I will pick it up. Um, I want to end our segment with hopefully you guys can hear this. They're gonna give me a commercial. 2-1. All right. I don't know. Can you hear this stuff?
Yep. Oh, you found
We gonna end with this. I don't know if you guys can hear that.
goodness. I did that for the whole time I was on the treadmill today for 20 minutes. I just played it over and over and over again. I'm
Yes,
like,
we
I
are
declare
blessed.
it is so
Yes.
in my life.
Yes. Okay. So we gonna get going. Thank you guys for chiming
Yeah.
in with us. Absolutely. I'll talk to you in a few
All
minutes.
right.
Thank you guys for joining us. We
Bless.
appreciate it. Yep. See you, friend. Bye.
Bless in the city.